Seoul's funeral homes are now filled with the bodies of young people and their heartbroken parents. At the end of a long corridor, Mr. Sim and his wife sit crumpled on a small sofa, unable to lift their heads. In the room next door is James' friend Yoon. And there's James' girlfriend at a funeral home across town. They went to Itaewon with 2 other friends on Saturday night to celebrate Halloween. James had organized the evening. He was always the organizer, as he loved nights out with his friends, says his mother. James was one of 155 people to die in the crowd as a narrow, bar-lined alleyway became dangerously crowded. The first sign that something was wrong came when his parents, like many others, woke up to find their son's bed empty. James' father got his friends to call him. The police answered. Entering the deadly crush, 2 of the friends managed to push their way through the crowd and climb onto a railing at the edge of the alley. James, his girlfriend, and Yoon couldn't understand it. James loved to exercise and spent most of his free time at the gym lifting weights to build up, his mother says. She can't understand why that didn't save him. James' relationship was getting serious, his father says. He and his girlfriend would have married soon if they had survived. He worked as a plumber, a job he was diligent about, but his passions were skiing and surfing. His mother's eyes widen with delight as she tells what he loved to do. But his father is near and tears fall. James was the best older brother, he recalls. How is my younger son going to cope without him? Park Ju-sung has known him the longest since they were 8 years old. I was such a shy child, says Ju-sung. James was my only friend. He invited me to everything and encouraged me to take up taekwondo with him. He helped me become more outgoing. James' friend Yoon, whose coffin is in the next room, had grown past his 28 years and was comfortable in his own company. He loved exploring. He used to go to bars alone in the evenings and tried to talk to foreigners to learn foreign languages, says Young-soo, who admires his self-confidence. More than half of the victims were in their 20s, and the trauma is felt in this generation. This is the second catastrophe they have experienced. In 2014, 250 high school students died when a ferry sank off the country's southwest coast. The high school students would have been in their 20s by now. People gathered at a large public altar in central Seoul to mourn. 19-year-old Kim Dae-hui laid down a single white chrysanthemum, Korea's morning flower, in honor of his 21-year-old friend Ragu Jordan. He had moved to South Korea from Malaysia in January 2021. The two had become friends after Ragu approached him on the street to praise his style. He worked in construction to earn money for his family back home. But he is creative at heart and dreams of becoming a fashion designer, Dae-hui said. They hung out, listened to hip-hop music and exchanged fashion tips. They taught each other their languages. Ragu was more patient than me, he never got annoyed, Dae-hui recalled, removing his glasses so his face could sink into his hands. Ragu had video called him from the alley when the scrum began. He was next to a young woman who was struggling to breathe. They stayed on the phone while Ragu tried to find an escape route. Then the woman's hand went cold and Ragu hung up. That was the last day we heard from him. The next morning, he watched videos shared on social media and saw his friend's face in the crowd, pale and distressed. He made sure it wasn't Ragu, just someone who looked similar. Then the police called. It appeared he had been pushed and kicked, they said. Learning the names and stories of the dead makes it even more difficult for people here to understand this tragedy. They need answers, which puts increasing pressure on authorities to determine exactly what went wrong and who is responsible. James' parents aren't ready to blame. Our son was pushed, and he died. It was an accident. We have not thought who was responsible. We cannot think. All we can do is cry.